Your listing presentation is really where the rubber meets the road in terms of your productivity and profitability in your business. I find that when agents really are successful at their listing presentations and have great confidence in their listing presentation, it enables them to prospect more efficiently, and it enables them to do a more efficient lead follow-up, and they're more willing to go out in the open market and compete for business. So one of the things that agents need to do is create what I would describe as a bulletproof listing presentation. Now, there's an old adage that we make 3 listing presentations for every one we actually go on. We make a presentation on the way to the appointment as we run through it in our car. We make the actual listing presentation live in front of the seller. And we usually make the final one on the way home where we do the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Now, which one of those 3 is usually best, do you think? Right, the one on the way home. At that point, we have had the opportunity to reflect and to see what we really should have said the moment we froze from their question or objection. And how do we make the one that truly counts the absolute best? Let me share a couple of ideas with you to make your presentation in front of the client that much stronger. And the first is focus on price. Many speakers and trainers teach agents to leave the price to the absolute very end, to talk about yourself, the company, the marketing plan first. The price is the client's first concern. That's what they're most interested in. When we withhold that from them to the very end, which may be an hour and a half down the road, they can start to tune us out. My advice is to get to the bottom line reasonably quickly. And I believe this for 2 reasons. One, for the clients. That's what they want, and I mentioned that before. The other is really for your benefit. If you find out in the last 10 minutes after being there for 2 hours that the clients are not going to reasonably price their home, your presentation is really over at that point and you're not going to get the listing. At the end of the day, you've just wasted a couple hours of your time. You've really wasted the time you spent with them up to that point. Now, for me, when they're unwilling or unable to price their home to sell, my marketing plan matters little because it won't make the home sell anyway if the home is radically overpriced. I could run ads weekly, do open houses weekly, try every other marketing strategy or gimmick under the sun, and the home wouldn't sell. The quality of my company doesn't matter as well. I'd politely excuse myself and move on. That's the only option you can do if you can't really convey to them the value of the property and the pricing strategy that needs to happen. Price it right or it's a waste of time was really my fundamental philosophy. The second is you've got to practice for the big game, and you've got to do it daily. Most NFL teams will practice and look at film for 40 to 50 hours a week in preparation for one singular 60-minute game. They spend 50 times more in practice hours than in game hours. Now, what would happen if we adopted that same strategy? We'd become world class at our listing presentations. If you practiced 1 hour a day daily on your presentation, in less than 6 months, you would be absolutely unbeatable. Your presentation would be second to none. And if you really want to be world class, tape your presentation. Athletes watch films of themselves to improve performance, so why not us? An agent who really wants to be the absolute best, this step is critical and essential. Now, here are the few things that you're going to find out and look for. What and how are you communicating? Are you controlling the presentations through questions, or are you talking a lot? Are you overpromising your services? Are you strong enough on the price? How do you handle the objections? How do you convey your value? How do you demonstrate why somebody should hire you? Tape a presentation this week. Go home, pour a nice glass of wine, sit back, and enjoy the show. You'll be shocked at what you say. Third, be prepared before the presentation. Prepare by knowing the numbers in your MLS. Know the stats for monthly sales in each price range. Know the stats on homes that failed to sell. Know your numbers in terms of production and the average market time. Average list price to sell price, average days on the market, average listings sold versus listings taken. Use statistics to your advantage. Develop a solid game plan. Get enough information before the appointment so your quiver is fully loaded with all the arrows you need. Try to dig for the objections you'll face before you meet with the client so you can prepare and understand exactly what you're up against in terms of that. Abraham Lincoln said, "When I am getting ready to reason with a man, I spend about a third of my time thinking about myself and what I'm going to say, and 2/3 thinking about him and what he's going to say." A great trial attorney tries to determine the moves of his opponent before he walks into the courtroom. He looks at all the things and spends 2/3 of the time thinking about his opponent and what he's going to say. Preparation will enable you to answer all the objections and issues raised and close for them to sign on the contract. A solid, focused listing presentation will enable you to increase your income dramatically. You'll be able to take more listings in less time, so you'll be able to go on more appointments. Don't fall into the never-ending trap of making your best presentation in the car on the way home. Make it when it really counts in front of the clients. If you apply these steps I've given you, that will become true. It'll take less than 6 months, but you've got to make the commitment today to enact it and actually do it.